Ugh. Ah. Oh, my back. Getting too old for this. Ugh. They're only 5 years younger. Oh. Just about ready. Yeah. Let's lower that even more. Yeah, something like that. Gonna bring ourselves in here in a second. Okie dokie. That's probably way too quiet. We don't even need the music, do we? We can just turn that off. Yeah. No music today. Hey there, hi there, Hyde here. Coming to you from the past, I imagine. Yeah. I don't imagine too many people are going to be watching a 1979 Kung Fu movie. But, yeah, if you're here for it, I don't blame you. I really enjoy this movie. This is going to be a VOD on my channel because, as it so happens... Hold on a second. We're going to readjust my size here. Yeah. We're gonna make myself even tinier, so I'm not actually on the screen like that. Yeah, no one wants to see me on the screen. No. So, the movie we're gonna be watching today is The Dance of the Drunken Mantis. Now, many people, if you are kung fu buffs, probably remember the Jackie Chan predecessor to this film, right? Hi, Rura. Yeah. This is kind of the sequel to the Jackie Chan Drunken Master film, except it isn't the Drunken Master 2, right? The Legend of the Drunken Master. They did this weird thing where they made an American, or, well, a more Western geared sequel, and then they made this in 1979 before that. I prefer this one. It's much more in line with the first movie, and I really like the character, the Beggar So. Now, if you don't know anything about Chinese folklore, the Beggar So is actually a real character in Chinese history, or at least folklore. I'm pretty sure he existed. Like most people would probably agree he existed to some extent. But what kind of figure he was, what he did, hard to say. he's often attributed to actually like the first movie is kind of historical. Wang Fei Hung is actually a real person, right? He was one of the Tigers of Canton, if I'm correct. It's been a while since I've studied Chinese history, so do take this with a grain of salt. But yeah, the beggar So was apparently friends with Wang Fei Hong, and yeah, it's kind of historical fiction in a way. This story, as far as I know, is less historical, right? It's more of a. Hold on a second. It's more of a fictionalized take to kind of capitalize on the success of the first movie with Jackie Chan. I do believe The Drunken Master was one of his first breakout successes. Jackie Chan is not in this movie, by the way. They could not afford him. No, no. In fact, I think this is the last movie made by the guy who plays the beggar So. Or at least, not made by the guy who made. Yeah. It's the last movie with the actor who played the beggar So, because the beggar So, or Sam Seed, as he's sometimes called, is, yeah, he died after this film was filmed. He had a heart attack, which is kind of sad, because he was really my favorite part of both of these films. And he actually starred in a third film as well, in the same series, the Drunken Master series. Also not related to the Jackie Chan movies, right? It's weird, you know, the chronology here. It's all messed up. Now, none of you probably wanted a history lesson, but you got one. So now let me tell you how this is going to go down. Hyde is just going to be here in the corner. He's not really going to be talking much, or at least he really hopes he isn't going to be talking much, over what is otherwise a masterpiece of filmography, right? This is one of my favorite movies. I do admit that some of the fight scenes are a bit long, and there might be times where I am, I don't know, feeling like I need to make a joke about something. That should be fine, right? You shouldn't worry about that. Otherwise, it's going to be mostly quiet, and you're going to get to enjoy this film, which is hopefully in the public domain. I'm pretty sure it is public domain, public domain Mark 1. Yes, which means it has no copyright anywhere. Hopefully. If YouTube comes after me for this one, I don't know. It's on me, I guess. So, without any further ado, I think we're going to get into this. Yeah. I will see you at the end of the movie. Let's go. Let me know, by the way, if the sound is okay. Yes, cross his fingers. Sound okay? Can you hear it good? It should be a little bit quieter than my voice. I did do some testing. That's a man right there. Look at him. Look at him go. Old men, right? Old men have the power. And he's another old man. Isn't that beautiful scenery? Look at those evergreens. Rubber Legs, very fearsome name. It is a fearsome name. Like, I wouldn't go up against a guy named Rubber Legs, especially not in a limbo contest. God, I love those sound effects. He doesn't look familiar, does he? No. I don't think he's an old man after all. He's not very menacing looking, is he? He just struck a pose. Fake old man. You ever have that problem with fake old men? You know, young people trying to say they're old men? I hate when that happens. I really do. Oh yeah, that first name you saw in the screenplay, that was actually the son of the, Sam Seed character's actor. Yeah. Very sad that one of his last films was actually co-written by his son. That's life for you. Yeah, he just squeezed his forehead to death. It's a gruesome way to go, you know? Just explode the brain from the inside. Not too many masters can do it, you know. Enter the main character, who's not Jackie Chan. Got some noodle skills, I'll give him that. You know, the dub for this is hilarious, but I thought the sub would be much better, yeah. I do prefer subs in general. When we're talking like old martial arts films, the dubs are just hilarious. There's something special about them. That's like a very picturesque fly, isn't it? Have you ever seen such a nice looking fly? It goes shiny and black. The eyes are bright red. That's beautiful. I don't know if you noticed, but some of those were moving. So those have to be like real flies. Chicken fist is one of the most fearsome styles out there. Seconded by only duck fist. Yeah. Look at those stances. If those were in modern fighting games today, let me tell you something, they would not drop those characters from a roster. Would you call it a foul blow, you know? Foul. Get it? Get it? Yeah. He looks like such a kindly old man, doesn't he? Like, imagine what you would have to do to anger that kind of guy. He looks so kind. There he is. My favorite old man in the film. Yeah, it does make it kind of worse, yeah. They hardly look related. Like, they're dressed the same. But how do we know that they're like brother and sister, right? They're only getting this far because he is clearly inebriated, right? Like, look at his red nose. He could be guiding Santa's sleigh right now. This is why you don't mess with old people. They've got experience, you know? It's kind of funny, like, this is the kind of character who inspired Yoda in Star Wars. The weird old man who's just comedy relief. Yeah, until he isn't. Like this. Well, he's still comedy relief. Don't get me wrong. Like, it gets especially bad in this movie. Which is a shame, because he doesn't deserve to be comedy relief. I kinda wish they would have made more. I don't know. Ramses the Great, you know, he had children up until what, like his 60s, 70s? Yeah, you do not insult someone's mother. I'm sorry, you just don't do that. Okay, maybe you do. Some mothers probably deserve it, right? What a nice insult to steal. Yeah, like these old kung fu movies, they have a great amount of weird insults. Even to this day, like for the dubs of these, I still quote them. Like for the first Drunken Master movie, there's a scene where he's eating at a restaurant, and he says, "I feel like a new man now, stranger." I still quote that all the time, and no one gets it, because no one's watching 70s Chinese kung fu movies. What a waste of wine, right? Such a waste. Do you know how many gallons of wine that was? Look at that mustache. So pencil thin. Any self-respecting Italian would laugh at that mustache, and I can't help but do the same.
借了我5个大洋，5日加2成，10日加1倍，西加西
Now
纳
remember,
利
kids,
滚利
don't get
2.3
loans with
元吧。
daily
你
interest.
一共欠我400大洋。
什么？你等于是抢钱啊？
Yes, it is. It's very much robbery. It's called usury. And I'm pretty sure some people had some very strong words against usury in
还是
history.
应该的，钱我就没有，人可有一个，你要不要？
老梆子，把你卖到窑子里都没人要。
Yeah, that's about what you'd expect, right?
你这三八婆，居然敢动手打我！我看你找死！
Like, I really cannot tell how old this woman is. There is no way she is as old as, she's supposed to be. Like, look at these moves. I cannot read those. I'm sorry. Something indeed.
还敢立滚立？你给我滚吧！
Usury? I'm going to imagine usury. Seriously, she does not look old at all, does she? Like, I can't tell. Like, isn't this impressive? Like, I can't even do that.
你头上的2个包就是连本带利的利滚利。现在还欠你多少啊？
不欠了。
You know, kung fu movies are kind of like, dancing, right? The choreography is exactly like dancing. So if you like dancing, you really ought to enjoy these old kung fu movies. Or vice versa, I guess.
老太婆想谋杀情夫啊！
呵，还舍得回来吗？
Yeah, that's a face a husband does not want to see when entering the door. Yeah?
啊，你疯了？怎么无缘无故动手动脚？
Do not call your wife crazy. Just throwing that out there.
该打，该打！哎呦！
It's remarkable, the choreography they put into these takes. Like, you would not believe how many of these things would just be multiple takes nowadays. They do it all in one take sometimes in this movie. It's amazing. And it wasn't even Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan's not involved in this film. Oh, yeah. They don't explain it, but this takes place about a year after the first Drunken Master film. Ah yes, old Chinese movies, power level. Now we get wuxia power level with flying magical sword masters. Not quite. We get broom hopping. We get broom hopping and sick old men.
你在外面风流快活，大碗酒大块肉的，1毛钱都不寄回来，让我在家里喝西北风，该不该打？
Although I have seen some where they end up flying. Great movies, not in public domain. Like, I have no idea why, but this one is in public domain apparently. Which is why we're watching it. Yeah. I really do love the sound effects they put in these. Just backhand the guy. That's right, he insulted his own wife.
快叫啊！
爸爸，哎，别介，小子，别看他有胡子都叫爸爸。
Not even bearded.
啊，我明白了，你是想弄一顶绿绿。
哦，你怀
That
疑我
hand
不戴
gesture.
帽子啊？
What is that hand
你是
gesture?
老头，他是我的干儿子。
啊，干儿子。哎，瞧你傻头傻脑、木口木面，你收干儿子也收个机灵点儿的。
切，
Just go down to the local kids store and pick up one of the fresh dozen instead of this one, right?
我托广东信托钱庄借钱回来的嘛。
你胡说些什么呀？我1毛钱都没收到过啊！
啊，没收到。
I really do love those sound effects.
你放心好了啊，你这个钱呢，我放在口袋里。
哎，你怎么？
我马上把它汇去啊。
It doesn't matter what culture you come from. Like, bankers are just universally hated, aren't they? Like, what's up with that? Why do bankers get all the hate? Don't answer that.
再来做啊！哦，再来做了啊，来做啊！好，谢谢你啊。要换的，滚！我们不是慈善机关呐，我有钱呐，都不给你了。
慢着，我们不是来要饭的，是找你们的老板谈点金钱上的事。
Dongguan, manhwa, Chinese anime and manga. You get mostly wuxia. Hold on, but there's a heart there. Oh, by the way, I'm going to bed. See you. Thanks for stopping by, Sen. Feel free to watch the VOD if you like the movie. It's freely available online. Public domain. You don't even have to watch it with me. I'm here, LOL. Yeah. You don't have to be. But no more messages. I don't know if this is a movie you should fall asleep to, Sen. Feel free to turn it off. Can you imagine just like going to a bank and the manager of the bank starts singing at you in a weird rhythm? Like, I would not enjoy that. I would know automatically that that bank was not to be trusted.
你们说话要小心哈，不要随便破坏我的名誉了。你看看我头上戴的、身上挂的，还有手上穿的，和嘴里香的呀。
You gonna help me to sleep? By the way, Roar is now my Oshi. You wanna join the Oshi mark? Yeah, the pink poop. Yeah, that's your Oshi mark, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'll join that bandwagon. Why not? Pink poop all the way.
嘘什么呀？我们没偷没抢的。
这个谈钱的事情呢，还是不要让外人知道的好啊。到我里边来谈了啊！请。哦，赖债缠身，不错了。那
Knives.
这几件东西呢，是我们赖派的镇刷之宝。
This scene really impressed me as a kid.
门环嘛。
Like, there's nothing impressive about it, but just the explanations, it's humorous. Not at all. Even less.
那中间那个呢？
更厉害喽，那个更厉害喽，更厉害。那中间那个环叫终身不还，想要我还钱就难上难。那我这里有令旗3支，第一支叫做还钱无定期，第二支叫做还钱无限期。
Not in my lifetime is a great clause.
叫做遥遥无期。我是小子，你耍赖了。
He didn't avoid the issue. He spelled it out pretty clearly.
你这什么功夫啊？
Push.
推弓。
看我的，可别出手啊！胡搅！
我老虎都要推。
What are these emotes? Scared, pulling skin, crying, loading. Monkey sleep. Yeah, sweet dreams, Sen. You're gonna need some luck if you want to survive the night. Those knives are not for show. Isn't it amazing how, like, everyone in a position of power in a kung fu movie knows some weird style of kung fu? Like, there's just not a normal guy who's hired some kind of bodyguard, right? They're all experts in kung fu. Every single one of them. Oops. Probably hit the mic there.
行，你们两个都行，要你们足的进来，红的出去了啊！哼，这个老家伙，
Now that just looks impressive, right? That two-man cartwheel. That takes coordination.
踢得我想吐哦！换个肩膀，吐怎么样啊？好，吐这样的，哎呦，不许挖眼。这算是正月15寄回来的钱。
The neat thing about pain is that you can get that kind of deferred pain, or not deferred, but delayed pain. Like, something won't hurt until you realize it, or realize that you've been hurt, right? The brain's amazing like that sometimes.
这算是端午节的钱。哎呦啊！让我瞧瞧，哇，真金呐！哎，哦，嘿，我的链子，我的链子，我的链子了，链子，你的链子，哎呦，哎，看看谁的链子，链子呢？我的链子在这呢，财归财路喽。哎呀，祖师爷，求求你救救我！来喽，我救你！幸亏我付得快哦。
Yes, that has happened to me, not realize my arm was covered in blood until I looked at it. I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe look at your arms after you do something dangerous from now on, yeah? Yeah. That's gotta be humiliating. Like, his chamber pot's made of gold and everything. He just dented it. I'm pretty sure he actually dented that. Like, it's not just some kind of fake dent. He did that. And it probably hurt the actor pretty well, yeah. But yeah, definitely, do be careful not to hurt yourself. And to not realize that you've hurt yourself. That's not ideal. Yeah. This dialect of Chinese is really... I don't know. It's not the one I'm familiar with, that's for sure. I imagine it's Hong Kong, maybe? I don't know. I can't read it. I can't read it at all. I can barely even understand it. Yeah, it might be Cantonese, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I couldn't tell you. I'm mostly familiar with Mandarin. And barely at that. Another waste of wine. This kid wastes so much wine. He has no respect for it. Oh, it's what he was repeating. Sui Quan, yeah. It's Mandarin. Ah, yes, it is Mandarin, but it's a weird dialect of Mandarin, isn't it? Like, it's very strange. Although then again, I do have, like, tone deafness, which makes it very hard for me to actually understand tonality in tonal languages. So maybe it's just me. It's probably just me, right? I can never tell. Why do you know his Mandarin? That's weird. Like, how many languages do you know? $3.20 for a meal? $3.20 for 2 meals. Can you imagine that? Like, what day and age is that? That you can get 2 full meals for $3.20. And you're including wine in that. No. You cannot get wine for $3.20 unless you make it yourself. And I do not recommend it. This is another great visual gag. How did he do it? How did he get there? It means Drunken Fist. It's the title. It's time for your Chinese rips. I know what it means. I know what it means. I'm just not used to this pronunciation of it. Yeah? Maybe I am used to the Cantonese pronunciations. I don't know. I don't know what I'm used to. Hyde can't remember. It's been too long. It's been too long. You know the irony of this scene, or this sequence of scenes? He taught Wang Fei-hung in the first movie so readily. Like, he was paid to do it, sure. But at the same time, he is so reluctant to do it again here. I don't understand it. Like we might get some idea later in the movie about why he might not want to teach this kid. But for right now, we have no reason for him to say no. Like, we saw him in the first movie, very happy to be teaching someone Drunken Fist. And here, he just takes the stereotypical Chinese father role of abusing the child, and the wife a little bit, you know. Like, the wife kind of deserves it, because that's the stereotype too. Like, I am not suggesting that you should beat or spank your wife. No. But that is the stereotype in these movies, right? That's the trope. And whether or not it should be a trope, it is a trope. Yeah. Again, 1970s. Take of it what you will. Chinese reps. I can't remember Wang Fei-hung's father's name, right? But he pretty much did the same thing. Less sadistically. Like, they increased the Beggar So's sadism, like, tenfold in this movie. He did not do this kind of weird stuff with Wang Fei-hung. He kind of did, a little bit. Okay, maybe I'm just remembering the movie wrong. It's been a while, right? Yeah. Yeah. He knew exactly what would happen there. Man, I don't buy that. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that face before.
3天这么快呀？3年啊！还要3年呢？练马步1年，打桩手1年，你又比人家笨，得多学1年。
不就是3年了吗？
At least he's very honest with his kid, right? Like, a lot of parents these days aren't honest with their
先喝
kids.
一杯酒。要我喝酒啊？我不能喝，喝一口我就躺下了。我不会喝。
Yeah, I would disown this kid.
想学
Just for
醉
that.
拳就得先学喝酒啊！哎，又不是毒药，喝。
Correction, it is very much poisonous. Alcohol is a poison. Sanyan Lesad. I don't know what that one means. No. Like, why do you know these tonal notes for these things? Okay, don't answer that. Do not answer Hyde on that one. I don't even know the tonal notes. Like, what is this?
不会喝酒就是不会喝酒，才喝这么点酒就烂醉如泥了。傻小子，也不撒泡尿照照你的怂样子。你以为有老太婆跟你撑腰，我就会教你功夫了？你想昏了头了你！
Another great
又
insult.
蠢又笨，天分又低，还学什么醉拳？狗屁，门儿都没有！你以为我天天在教你功夫啊？
Yeah, I really don't like how they made his character so cruel in this movie. Like, in the first one, he was sadistic, right? But he wasn't cruel. What he did had a purpose. This is just cruelty for the sake of being cruel. Because he doesn't like the kid. And that was definitely not the character arc in the first movie. There wasn't a character arc. There kind of was, a small one. He grew to like, Wong Fei Hung a little bit, right?
这小子这么早就去练功了。
And there he just gave a compliment to the kid he's been insulting this whole time. Or at least I assume it's a compliment. Like, again, the sub. The sub might be slightly changing things.
爹，我是一个无父无母的孤儿，全靠妈收留我，认我做儿子。我十分高兴，我不会忘记的。我十分喜欢学武功，妈说等你回来跟你学醉拳。我终于等到你回来了，想不到，爹，你不肯收我做徒弟。我知道我又笨又蠢，天分又低。爹，你又讨厌我，我还是决定走了。 以免让你生气。
He tortured his child too much. Shakes my head. Yeah, but that seems like the common trope of fathers in Chinese kung fu movies from the 70s. Like that. That's probably a very narrow niche. But yeah, that seems to be the trope. The father has to be the bad guy, right? And even into the 80s, right? Like the Legend of the Drunken Master, which would be the sequel to this sequel in a way, I guess, because of time. Yeah. Even then, the father was still the bad guy.
哎呀，老太婆，我不问你，我问谁呀？
你问我，那我又去问谁呀？
哎，这小子跑到哪儿去呢？这。
There is something cathartic about washing dishes, right? We've all been there.
外面呢有一个王八蛋呢，我们已经收铺了，还赖着不走，好像想死在这儿一样。有什么办法呢？人家不肯走啊。哎，不如这样吧，你去把他赶走好不好？我怎么行啊？哎，你凶一点嘛，去把他赶走。我不行啊。哎，真的不行。不，还是你去，你凶一点，把他赶走。去呀！哎，我凶。
Yeah. You know that face is not anything good. I want you to think about this for a second here. This kid has been tortured. He's been abused by his family. What's he do when he leaves home? He immediately gets a job somewhere, right? And it's not like his first job. He was already working at that noodle place, and then he got fired. And then he came here, to a hotel, where he washed dishes. Like, he actually cares about, you know, survival. He's not just some idiot, right? He thought this through. And I think that's impressive. This kid is not as dense as he's made out to be. Very practical.
师傅，哎，掌柜的，向你打听一个人，他的名字叫苏花子，你认不认识他？
好，你要找苏花子，我们这儿啊，连小孩子都认识他。
No problem, but I don't know where he is.
他的功夫啊，好厉害呀！
那你知不知道他现在在哪儿？
哈，这个宝贝儿啊，
See?
神龙见首不见尾的，他要找
Yeah,
你啊
I don't get some of these
你要找他
translations
那就
sometimes.
哎，你找他到底有什么事啊？是不是想跟他学醉拳呢？
一大把年纪了，早几十年还差不多。
10 years ago, this guy's like 60, maybe 50. Like, obviously he's not. He's probably in his 30s, judging by his skin.
醉拳，
Like, his skin is very smooth, right? Very bright. Like, some of that's probably makeup, but he's definitely not too old. Definitely not in his 50s or 60s, right? Yeah, no. Like, his apprentice here might be older than him, for all I know.
扭来扭去的，长虱子了。
伙计，倒盆水来。伙计，
倒水？我替你倒水的嘛，倒水找你老婆啊。
小子，你嘴皮子倒挺溜的。
嘿，谢了。哎，听说你定做了一副棺材，
怎么样？
这样太省点了吧？
你说什么？
我是说啊，两个大男人睡一副棺材，挤不挤得下？
Great insult.
那么这副棺材让你先睡吧。好。醉拳。
Probably not a great idea to reveal that you know the style that they're looking for. No, no, not a good idea.
这比炸难算吧？
我不管你什么老子儿子、师傅徒弟的，苏花子在哪儿？
啊，你找对人了。不过我不喜欢告诉你，让你干着急。
Like, this is where Foggy's stupidity really comes into play, right? The sound effect. Oh, it's so dramatic. The sound effects are fantastic in these series of films, right? And this choreography in particular, like the mirroring is just fantastic until, yeah. He tried, he just doesn't have the talent for it.
怎么一样的？
小子，看清楚了，不一样。
醉酒提壶立千金。
Holding up, sure.
你这样拿杯啊，酒都洒了。
是啊。
学人家打醉拳。
Remember, kids, do not have weak wrists. You gotta exercise those wrists, okay? Yeah, make sure they're strong. Get a strong handshake, get a good job in life, and then you don't have to worry about anything afterwards. Yeah? Yeah.
不一样啊！现在敬酒。我敬啊！
我看你不用敬了，留着你自己喝吧。你的醉拳是不是跟你师娘学的？怎么一点劲儿都没有啊？
我就给你点劲儿。
The funny thing is, he actually did. He did learn the drunken fist from his mother. It's honestly not that bad either, right? Like, he's standing up to this guy who was trained by an actual master, when all he learned was from his mother, who was married to a master. Her style is completely different, right? I think that's pretty impressive. Usually that would mean they would follow the guy. Like, he did the exact thing that you should not do. When an enemy wants to know someone's location, he went straight for the person. And somehow, despite them not following him, it works out in their favor. I don't get that. They should have followed him to his home. That would have made more narrative sense, right? Instead, what we get is this. Masterful use of lighting right there.
酒后多时了。
阁下是哪位？
沧州千醉翁。
哦，久仰久仰。
明月几时有？把酒问青天。
哦，醉翁自斟自饮，好雅兴嘛！
苏师傅，你何不与我共图一醉？
哦，有酒喝，我一定奉陪。
敬你一杯。
Just a show off there. He could have caught that cup just fine.
高粱好酒，好酒，我先干为敬。多谢了。
行家一出手，便知有没有，佩服佩服。
哎，见笑见笑了。来。想不到我这老头的腰力还不错啊。
See, he could have fathered that kid, right?
你老人家多保重。
哎，多谢了。对不起呀，喧宾夺主了。醉翁，我回敬你一杯。
不用客气，
客气我就不来了。
不敢当，
劝君莫举杯。
What kind of rock, paper, scissors was that? This whole scene is kind of, I dislike this part of the movie the most, right? It just drags on for so long. They're just going back and forth, back and forth. That's all it is, right? It isn't even rock, paper, scissors, because there's no clear winner or loser until the end. They're just showing off. I guess you do get to see the differences in personality. Like, the beggar So here, he's obviously less concerned about pomp and, posterity, so he doesn't really have manners, and you can see that in how he acts. And then we have this northern master, right? He's very much into appearances. Yeah. He's very much into manners, too. It's nice to see that conflict in personality, not just in the styles they use. Yeah. Really, you can see the directors and screenwriters had an idea for this, and I think they executed it pretty well. You get the same kind of style, and yet you see the minor differences in the people who use it, and you can kind of see the personality coming through, even through the styles themselves. Yeah. I'm pretty sure in the Western cut of this film, it's a lot shorter of a sequence, right? I'm pretty sure they thought, no, this isn't going to fly well with Western audiences. And they were right, right? It gets a bit slow. Right here. The courts reflect their personality too. Yeah, one's shiny and golden, and the other is very much plain and austere. They're very distinct, right? They have the anime personality look distinctions, right? If you looked at their shadow, or their silhouette, as it were, you'd be able to tell them apart. What a waste of wine. You can't drink it through there. Exactly. You do not drink wine in front of an old man like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's rude. Like, look at how much this guy cares about manners, and here he is drinking in front of another person. That's very rude. His manners are all for show. I do love this music, though. This score especially is fantastic. So much of the fight is not fighting. They're just showing off to one another. Look at how much I mastered this form. Not even looking at one another, they know. Maybe it's a mating dance. Well, with the name Drunken Mantis, you could definitely take it as that. I think they were trying to play into the Mantis thing a bit. Right here. Everything up until this point has been them playing around, right? At least the Northern Master here has been playing around. He hasn't revealed everything yet. And yet these are the trump cards for the Beggar So. I really do enjoy these fight scenes. The choreography of them, and the fact that they're taken in so few different cuts, it's just fantastic. It might not be one take, but it's not that far off either.
醉翁，今天你算是大开眼界了吧？
苏师傅果然名不虚传。
还有呢，汉钟离，蝶步抱弹都心顶。
Here we go. Yeah, the deadly claws. I don't know if you've ever seen an insect drink alcohol, but yeah, they look pretty weird after they do. Any arthropod, really. Well, what was that about? Lost connection there for a second? I do apologize. That was on my end. Yeah, it disappeared from me for a bit. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. OBS just said it disconnected. You didn't miss much. It was just the beggar so lost his pants. Probably couldn't have shown that on YouTube anyway, right? Yeah, look, like, you can see he's not wearing any pants right now. The really nice thing about this scene is how it kind of parallels what he did with his own son Foggy, right? Like, he tried to get Foggy to drink, and he ended up almost drowning the kid, and here he got the same treatment. It's kind of karma, right? Yeah. And the fact that Foggy here saves him, and then he saves Foggy, yeah, that's clearing the karmic debt, right? Very nice resolution to that.
Papa. 老头，好点了吗？
你们在这干什么？
干什么？你睡了几天几夜了？
我睡过头了，没事的。
几十岁的人了，让人给打得半死，还要嘴硬。傻小子，快点去给你爸爸抓副药回来。哦。
别走那么快嘛。
Enter best character in the film. Anyone who left before this point, I pity you. This guy is the greatest character in the film. Greatest character in the Drunken Master series filmography.
你究竟是人还是鬼啊？人吓人会吓死人的。
你说我是人，我就是人；你说我是鬼，我就是鬼。人家都叫我病鬼啊！
你这个老病鬼，是不是活见鬼了？睡在棺材里吓唬人！哎，快把那包药还给我！
在我的脚那儿。
啊！
This guy is so cool. Like, he's not an old man, but I'll give him an old man pass, right? Because sick is just pretty much the same thing as old. Anyone old enough to be in a coffin, you know, but they count. They're honorary old men, right? Or at least old women or old people. He's an honorary old man.
你这个死老变鬼，要不是看着你就快死了，早就对你不客气了。把药还给我。
药已经还给你了。
啊，在哪里？
在右边。
右边。左边，右边。右边。没有啊。
我的右边不就是你的左边吗？
我的左边。在这儿。算你识相，让你多活几年命。嗨。
Really is an idiot. Like, sometimes he goes between being incredibly clever and being incredibly stupid. In this case, he was incredibly stupid. Yeah, there was no way he was going to take that sick old man. He was playing with him from the start. Remember, entire dead snakes, they're very effective in your coffee grounds. Drink them. They're delicious.
难道他真的死了？
Like, where did he come from? We saw under the coffin, we saw the other side of the coffin. Where did he appear from?
也不要踢我这张大床嘛。
岂止踢呀！我还放火把它烧了。我问你，为什么换了我的药？是不是想毒死我爸爸？
那么你爸爸死了没有？
死就没死，不过
吃了药肚子疼，然后又拉稀了，是不是？
是啊。
Look at how smug he is when he's saying this.
脸上发红光，又抽了一阵子筋，然后就睡着了。
是啊，是啊，就是这样。
Did I poison your father?
没事了，那你回去吧。
等等。
Is he feeling unwell?
改天有事怎么办？
Then I did my job.
有事吗？再来找我好了。
啊，等到人死了再来找你，那不太晚了？
不晚，你不用这么担心，算我吃亏一点。 到时候我做你的爸爸，这不就行了吗？
啊，岂有此理！老病鬼，你还想讨我的便宜？你不病死也给人打死。
Another great insult. Like, this movie is just full of great niche insults. You really can't beat it.
小伙子，我来给你把把脉啊！脉搏太弱，虚火上升啊！
This is why he's the best character in this film. Just hands down, he's playing around the entire time he's on screen.
眼花花，舌头发白，你的消化不良啊！小伙子，病向浅中医，要不然你就没有命了。
哎，我的身子骨硬了，
嘿嘿，硬啊，死了更硬了。
Fantastic line. Fantastic line. Your bones will be stiffer when you're
不
dead.
用怕，我报医肾亏腰疼。
哎呀，我的头好疼！哎呦哎呀，
头疼。摇头晃脑去心火。
好舒服，好舒服，好舒服。
Those Foley effects, by the way, are just fantastic too. I will remind you that this was made in 1979.
我没有什么不舒服，就是不服气。
Look at this choreography. It's the fastest of any choreography we've seen so far in this movie. He's very energetic. His moves are very flowing. There's nothing still about them.
我病菌配的十全大补药是逢气必补，逢补必消啊！
病菌啊！哦，我知道了。妈妈常常提起的江湖四怪舒普病酒，那你就是病菌了。
嘿嘿，我看你这一辈子这一回是最聪明的啦。
You know, I appreciate that they set up this entire mythology for these four strange gods, but we only ever got two of them. The father and then this guy.
好厉害的，是不是自己吹的？
The sick and the drunk. Where are the book and the magic? We still have time. We could definitely make those films happen.
舒普病酒各有所长啊！
老输不赢，太不像话。
傻小子。
没输的。
心境明澈衣冠书，凝神练气诗自成，利用无止。晚坠千金。笔走龙蛇，铁画鹰步。
Cuts like granite. Granite does not cut too many things. No.
人约黄皇后。
这下子不好玩了。
头。行八卦。踏阴阳。 主吉凶，定祸福。
厉害，差点没有后福。
还早着呢，这点不过是皮毛而已啊。
那酒怎么样？
酒啊，就是你窝囊的爸爸了。 他呀，嗜酒如命，捧着个葫芦，是东奔西跑，以为自己的醉八仙可以独步武林呢。
师叔，四怪之中哪个武功最好？
当然是你的爸爸啦！
啊，第一呀！
洋鬼子看清了。
怎么？
从后边往前数。
啊？
舒普病酒， 排都排到最后了。
说得对呀，难怪打不过千醉翁。
醉拳本分南北，其形有异，其理相通。北醉拳以沧州千醉翁为表者，此人生性奸诈，以醉拳身法暗藏螳螂刁手招数。千醉翁的醉步螳螂以雕钩踩踢撵切靠为杀招。
Yeah, we saw that when he exploded some guy's brain. You remember that back in the beginning of the movie? Yeah, he just exploded some guy's brain.
手碰手，手捏手，他就不能走。
探脉手，
探脉手的招式：探、扣、拿、封、闭，5种变化。
The forehead pinch, yeah. Yeah. The internal brain exploder, as I like to call it, yeah.
教我并拳行不行？
你呀，
我也知道没机会学。爸爸常说我又笨又蠢，天分又低。
你也不要那么灰心，我是专一先天不足。
Never trust anyone who says they can cure your problems easily. It's always a lie. Every single time. This is pretty cool though. Like this entire scene with the rope. That absolutely would hurt. Like, this isn't even fair. Like, the sick old guy, he gets to have sleeves on, and Foggy here, he has to use his bare hands. That's not fair. Gotta really train those lungs, don't you? He's essentially a bellows, right? I think you can see he's not in a terrible shape. Like, those muscles in his shoulders, yeah. They're pretty toned. This guy isn't hopeless. That is a lot of tofu. Have you ever seen so much tofu in your life? I haven't. Yeah, he's been playing with you the whole time, man. There's several unopened packs of tofu in my fridge. Okay, if you're not going out too often, I guess you can have several. Do remember that you can freeze tofu pretty well too, you know? So that's my tip for all of you out there. You can freeze tofu pretty well. Although it's easier if you pre-cut it and then freeze it, yeah. Great for soup. freeze? No. Ah, yeah, freezing changes the texture. It also drives out moisture. You want to freeze it uncovered, though. That way you get the sublimation of ice into water vapor. Yeah. You end up with a much drier tofu. It's firmer, too. It has a slightly different texture, though. It's quite good in soups, yeah. It'll absorb a sauce pretty well. This is just showing off, right? That there's no reason for him to be doing all these fancy moves. He could just pull these things right out. The sound effect when everyone gets pulled out. Yeah, they're pretty interesting. Like, the Foley artists here did a fantastic job with this entire movie. Every sound effect seems perfect. In a very strange way. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Breathing from the diaphragm. Common ailment in old men. I can definitely say this is how I wake up every morning. Yeah. Exactly like this. That's just not even a practical move, right? Like, how often do you have one of those stools? Show off. They even got the wind cutting Foley. Of course they do. It's a 1970s kung fu movie. Of course they got the wind cutting Foley. It wouldn't be kung fu without it. Yes, yes, Foley. Hi. Hi, Guarov Genius Gaming. Nice to see you. You're just at the end of the training arc. Never call your wife an old lady.
最近天天早出晚归，野到哪儿去了？快过来！什么事啊？别说我不教你，试试我
Look
的
at how smug he is. They still made him a really terrible old man in this movie. Like the first one, he was just sadistic, and in this one, he's just very cruel and selfish. I don't like that. I don't like that change in character.
小心弄两本书啊，爸爸。我去帮忙开饭。
Least stealthy stealth section in any movie I've ever seen, right? Like, you could obviously feel this guy behind you when you're walking down the road like this. Yeah. I don't know what you're expecting, old man. At least get a cardboard box, right?
"果然是这个老病鬼耍的花样啊！
Just coincidentally, the Northern Master Rubberlegs shows up at this unexpected sick man's house.
苏师傅，上次让你借火盾逃走，哼，今天我看你再往哪儿逃。
Plot contrivances.
我干嘛要逃？你那点螳螂拳，我摸得比你还清楚。尽管放马过来。哼，见到了棺材你还要嘴硬？好，有你老婆跟你儿子陪葬，也算是你有福气。
你找谁呀？我看你一定是包收烂账的。
我不是包收烂账的，我是包收人命的。
收买谁的命？
苏花子也好，他儿子也行。
哼，小子，你还想收买人命呢？我看你是自不量力吧。
照你这么说的话，你是很能打的。
小子，有本事就使出来吧！
我三招要你的命。
Let's count those moves. I think that was way more than 3, but he probably meant like named moves, right? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt here.
现在我叫你屁股朝阳。
回风泼水。
Let's call this 2. Some swords are not that flexible, but a lot of Chinese swords probably were, right? They were made of more flexible steels. And that's fine, you know? They have a different fighting style than, say, a Western spear or sword. Yeah. All depends on the metallurgy, the forging techniques.
快住手！原来是你，居然送上门。
Look at that. He was pretty honorable. He stopped.
你不来找我，我还想去找你呢。
怎么，你认识他吗？
岂止认识，他烧成灰我也认得出。上次我跟爸爸就是被他们打的。
Rubberleg's student is like a terrible name. Maybe we should give him a new name. Like maybe... What's less elastic than rubber? Like latex legs? Yeah, he can be latex legs. How about that?
大你豆腐那么近！小心啊，我的枪法不太准。
We never did see him practicing with a spear, right? Like at best he used rope and a stool for sitting on. The fact that he's this good with a spear... Yeah, I don't know where he learned that. Never specified.
打得你像条狗！你不要得意，有本事就杀了我，我师傅干掉你，老子就会来找你。你老子！
These flutes always got me, right? Like, I don't think they fit the scene.
苏师傅，这副棺材合你用。
死酒鬼，全靠我救了你一条命啊！
哼，老命鬼，你少管闲事！你以为我打不过人家要你救？
哼，苏师傅，想不到你找了个帮手。
哎，你尽管放心，君子动口不动手，我才不会帮他的忙呢。
啊，我从来就没叫人帮过我。
这不关我的事啊！
That's brotherly love right there. Yeah. I know from experience. That's exactly how a brother would treat another brother.
死酒鬼，小心他的醉不螳螂穿心腿啊！
谁让你教啊？我还不会。
You really should listen to what I assume is your younger brother there. He gave you sound advice. But you know, the older siblings never
你
do.
不要我教是不是？6月债还得快，灵不灵马上见效。 死酒鬼，你还有最后一招？
什么招啊？
哎，赶快开溜啊！
你死了你！
爸爸，你没事吧？那老家伙，他又欺负你了。
我没
Is this man who almost killed you bothering you?
我的徒弟来了，你可有救了？
No.
是啊，
No.
我来对付这老家伙，替你出口气。
哎呀，你嫌命长啊你！我都对付不了他，你不是送死吗？快走开，走开，走开，走开！
See, at least he cares about the guy. Like, he's trying to protect his son's life.
好，
Even if he's wrong, you know, he's trying.
送你们俩。
It isn't all cold-hearted fathers.
嘿嘿，你别跟我夸口，还认识这支枪是谁的吗？嘿，你的徒弟已经给我打得残废了，连华佗在世也医不好。
哎，我说徒弟啊，你可别给我丢脸哦，露两手给你爸爸看看呢。
Could almost be pride, though. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Like, he could just be a very prideful old man who doesn't want to let his son do anything. He has to be the best old man. That's fair. Like, old men do get pretty prideful. I think that's supposed to be the arc for this Rubberlegs. Like, he is supposed to be the prideful old man. That's weird. Like, the subtitles didn't show up there. I wonder if I have to edit those. That's fine. He probably just said some sick one-liner, right? Like, your Mantis fist is broken, or something. I don't know. I don't know Chinese, like, I don't know, insults. Is your Mantis fist your mother's Mantis fist? Something like that? I don't know. Something about an old man's back, I imagine. I don't know what's going wrong with the subtitles there. I definitely checked them before. Yeah, that's really weird, isn't it? This is the most I've ever had technical difficulties in my streams before. Subtitles and a random drop. Didn't get to crack his neck. I sincerely hope that he did not fix his constipation there. Like, if he did that in battle, I wouldn't want to fight the old man anymore. LMAO, sad face. I really like this movie because he's still, like, it's realistic. That this guy only learned the sick fist for what? I don't know, a couple days, maybe a couple weeks. Of course he's not going to be able to take over, like, this master from the north. This guy has beaten every other, and he's going to be the one who wins the fight, right? That's how it should be. That's how it makes sense in the real world. Someone with decades of experience is going to beat someone with only a couple weeks of experience at most. You know, the neat thing is the northern style of drunken boxing actually does emphasize kicks. So this movie is actually pretty faithful as far as I know. Just go crazy. This really does mirror the Legend of the Drunken Master, the ending of that movie. That's the second Drunken Master from Jackie Chan one, yeah. He's just going insane there. Fighting is fair play. Just throw your body into him a couple times. I never understood if that was supposed to be him doing it multiple times, or if it was just once and they wanted to be very dramatic with it. Like, narratively, they never do that again in the movie. And just like we mimicked the very dramatic... Yes, it's very dramatic. So just like Rubber Legs exploded a guy's brain, he exploded a guy's throat. Very much a parallel to the beginning of the movie. And this again parallels the Legend of the Drunken Master, the second Drunken Master film with Jackie Chan, where he goes insane from drinking industrial alcohol. It's always a bittersweet ending. Now the shoe is on the other foot. I don't get that line. I think they just wanted to be clever there. Yeah. And that's pretty much the movie. It's pretty good, right? Yeah, let's pause it there. That's a nice ending screen, right? Yeah. How do you feel about that movie? It was pretty good, right? A lot of people don't realize that there was a sequel that didn't star Jackie Chan to the Drunken Master film. And we had the Beggar So in his last appearance. I don't remember his name, the actor. But yeah, he sadly had a heart attack after this one. And it was doubly sad because, again, his son helped co-write this. So, yeah. There was another film. I think it was with another Northern Master. And he was a younger at that point. I don't know if that's public domain, but if it is, we might watch it again. That was fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. Like, I haven't watched it in a long time, but obviously I do remember some of the plot points. I have watched this movie a bunch. Like, there was a point where I was just obsessed with drunken boxing kung fu movies. And there aren't exactly very many of them, right? There are only a couple. And Jackie Chan's are probably the best. But this one, I really enjoyed. I think that the actor who plays the Beggar So here, or Sam Seed, as the subtitles would call him, he did a fantastic job of playing a sadistic old man. Again, in this movie, I think he was a bit crueler than I would have liked. But that's fine, right? Sometimes that will happen. Characters have to change a little to fit the story, or to make the story work. I do want to stress again that these were real people, at least some of them. And I don't know if Foggy was, like the kid, but the Beggar So is a real historical figure, and he had real historical, tangible effects on history. Yeah. I think that's pretty neat, that they made a movie about that, and that they made another movie about the movie about that. Yeah. I think this is going to be where we end it. I had a lot of fun. I want to thank anyone who actually showed up for the movie. There were actually a couple people who showed up that I did not expect, and I appreciate that. Anyone who shows up for this kind of niche content is okay in my book. Maybe we'll do another movie night sometime with another public domain movie. I'm hoping that this was a public domain movie. It said it was. Public domain Mark 1, which means no copyrights anywhere. That's what it should be. And I do know that there are other kung fu movies out there with the same designation, Public Domain Mark 1, which means, theoretically, we could have kung fu movie nights throughout the year. I don't know if we will. I don't know if I'll ever do this again, but I had a lot of fun, and this was a very enjoyable time. I didn't expect to have it, but we did. So Thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it. Now, with that all said and done, Hyde is going to say his goodbyes. Thank you all for showing up. It was a fun time. But Hyde out. Thank you for the surprise stream. You're welcome. Thanks for showing up on short notice. Bye-bye. Hyde out. No music for the outro today. Shut down. Shut down. Yes. Yes.